Proof of the growing stature of the Rugby World Cup was England's tour of Australia in 1991. Like Wales, they'd headed south to build up for the competition just over 2 months before the tournament began. But also like the Welsh, it wasn't going according to plan. They'd lost to both New South Wales and Queensland prior to the one-off test, but Will Carling's side, which boasted more than enough top-line experience, was beginning to show some promise immediately before the international. There were no new cabs handed out in this test for the Wallabies, but for three who had made their debut in the 63-6 whitewash against Wales a week earlier, this would be their real initiation. A young John Eales, Marty Roebuck and Rob Edgerton were playing their second test as Bob Dwyer looked for a starting 15 for his World Cup campaign. While Campese, Liner and Far Jones provided the experience in the backline, Simon Poitevin and Tim Gavin were the two most capped players in the pack with 52 and 16 tests respectively. Willie Offhand Gowie joined them in the back row as Australia fielded a loose trio more than capable of matching the physical English eight.
Everything ran really smoothly. We had a couple of warm-up games, played Wales, played the United States. We'd absolutely belted the Welsh. And belted the USA as well, so we're feeling quite confident. And we knew this one was going to be a tough one, so we started to steel ourselves, and the guys' minds were pretty focused that this is going to be a tough game. Everyone was talking England up as potential World Cup winners for '91, and I've got to say, we went out in the game being really relaxed, just confident, relaxed, but really focused.
Part of the thinking was let's build on what we'd done last year, which was to beat the All Blacks at Wellington and end their, I think, 24 test match winning streak. To build on what we did against Wales 2 weeks beforehand, which was to win 63-9, just to continue to get better and work on things that we'd hopefully use in sort of October and November. And, you know, it was a special day. I mean, for me, my first child was born on the Thursday. I disappeared from Wollongong and said, guys, I don't know when I'm back, but keep training. And I think it was the first time we've actually had a drink on the night before the game, because I arrived back on Friday and the boys cracked some champagne.
Moore playing in his 31st Test match. British Player of the Year in 1990. Poitevin wraps up, and Poitevin has the strength to stay on his feet, and there the Australian forwards were able to get in behind him.
Great drive and composure by the goal jumpers. Poitevin had to come back behind the advantage line to get it, but the Australian forwards got in behind him, got the body height down. But height's down a lot lower than what it was last week against Wales.
They were worried about that after last week's game, but they seem to have got to it. Possession contested by England, but the drive came on from the Wallabies. And that gives them the put into the scrum. So very important to keep the number of put-ins the Wallabies have to scrums.
England front row trying to sneak up over the mark. They try to avoid that very physical engagement. It's a high one from Far Jones. Not gaining a lot of ground though. Underwood underneath. Back it goes to Gavin. Australia drive in. 5 metres out. Again, Edgerton doing well with the high ball. Australia managed to deflect it back.
Critical scrum this for Australia. The English will try and wheel the Australian back row into the sideline. It's up to Ewan McKenzie on the tight head side to keep this scrum straight. They're trying England, but Australia keeping it straight. Great work, the tight eight. Second shove coming.
Here's Horan. And now it's Little. And it's a try to Roebuck. Oh, great try there to Australia. Marty Roebuck, 2 out of 2, just as Greg Martin did in '89.
Superbly constructed backline set move. Australia moving the ball wide. England just found wanting in backline defence here. It's beautiful work to Little, the pass to Roebuck, and there was a gap you could have driven a truck through.
What's important is the decoy that Edgerton created. By him coming outside Horan, committed the centres, which gave Little's beautiful hands across to Roebuck hitting the line.
They checked thinking Edgerton was going to come close off liner.
And what an impressive start this has been from the Australians. We've had nearly 14 minutes of play, and they haven't put a foot wrong. So Australia out by 9 points. And what a delightful pass it was from Jason Little. Quick hands did it.
Mackenzie tight head, Kearns at hooker. Daly here with Proban.
Dean Richards at the back. This is Andrew. Guscott now. Here's Otti running hard and straight. He got away from Liner. Roebuck stops him. Great charge there from Chris Otti. And he's driven back by Gavin. Oh, he's gone back about 10 metres. This is Richards. And Webb, Edgerton the tackler. England with a chance here. Underwood. This is Carling. Away from Little. And it's a try to Guscott. England hits back. Jeremy Guscott, who played so well for the Lions here at the football stadium, has England within 5.
And it was a great try from England. They were frustrated twice, once by Gavin, then by the defence on this side. Watch the tackle of Edgerton here on his opposite, on the fullback, Jonathan Webb. They shifted it wide, throw and hope, but it was Carling who got into space, drew Campese and had Guscott, and there's not many that'll stop him. Willie O comes in defence. He was committed to go hard for the corner. The elusive Guscott steps back inside.
Gary, the long pass here from half-back Hill did it.
But what's good about it is that England play the game superbly behind the advantage line. They don't have to get to the advantage line to get their tries. So that was played superbly. Even under pressure, they had enough composure and realignment to get there.
So Jonathan Webb, who's been right on target with his goal kicking, shows that he's enjoying the Australian conditions. And that is a timely try for England. Australia ends the scrum forward. Gavin in close at Richards. Teague tries to wrap him up. A couple of back rowers taken out there. Liner for the touchline. Not quite the angle. And we're back to the 22. Well, Australia had quite a good line on the right there.
I think we found that the England backs were right up on them.
Very flat. I'd like to see that ball go up a little bit higher to give Edgerton some time to get in underneath it.
About 15 metres downfield. Tap back by Offahengawe to Gavin, who goes low.
Huge
and
game,
sets
Gavin.
up. Here goes Campese. The bounce is important here. Campese! Yes! Try number 39 in Test matches for Campo. His second last international for Australia here at the stadium. What a kick it was from Far Jones.
What a pleasing return to form for David Campese. Played a very contained game in Brisbane, and here, right on the advantage line as the kick goes forward from Far Jones, and he sprints. This is just straight pace. Runs himself into position, gets round Otti, beats Jonathan Webb to the ball. Watch the bounce. Great try, David Campese.
And Gary, this is the spot that David Campese remembers from the Lions series in '89. Yayan Evans scored the series-winning try here.
Well, I'm not sure if that was going through his mind at that stage. He gets every post a winner. It was a great kick, great chase. Well, Nick Farr-Jones will be calling for the supercharger in the Australian team now. He'll be saying, that's picking up, boys, another 10-15%. We're here in the 22.
Eels incredible.
Offahengawe bouncing off players. Coming back on a platter. Horan. Long cut out, not a good one. Campese. Oh, they pulled them. Liner tries to get round Otti. Little's there and Liner. Liner knocked on. The bounce didn't favour him this time. Could easily have been Australia's third. Well, he's ruled that an England player has knocked the ball on.
No, it's the England feed. Ball back inside the English 22. Look at this beautiful ball from Liner. He loops Campese, great understanding, and sprints down the touch. It was good work from Otti to get in. The ball drops here. Look at it. It pops up for Liner and goes the other way.
Hill clears quickly. Carling hard and straight into Liner. And stands his ground too for a few more metres. They've stolen the ball. Gavin in for a very solid hit there. Hearns, the hooker, to Edgerton. Guscott couldn't hold on. Australia with the advantage. Poitevin there. Australian forwards there in numbers. Lovely hands from Little. Liner. Horan. Oh, look at Gavin, the big man. How did he pick it up? Liner. Roebuck. Campese's outside. Another kick and chase. Hill's there. And just into touch.
Sensational stuff by the Australian back row. Firstly, Phil Kearns, the expansive game from him wide, and that touch by Willie O, and the comprehension and the togetherness of Gavin and Willie O, moving this ball at pace. They were really stretching England, and Campese keeping it under control, the sensible option down the line in front.
Good work, Keith Lawrence.
Here goes Campese. It's trouble for England. They want to clear it. Gavin. It's only 6 metres out. It comes back for Australia.
Gavin's everywhere. Looping in support. Working off the back. It's a great move there to involve Campese, but England didn't get sucked in. The inside backs leaving the gap.
Australia pretty unlucky not to get the try. Plenty of gaps opened up there.
England scrum in a holding situation.
Australia waiting to put on the second shove to present the ball.
Now it's Horan and Gavin and line out, and it's Campese. Easy as you like. Second try for Campo.
Great understanding here. Australia working as we always would like them to work. Understanding, crispness of pass, change of direction, space out wide for Campese. Look at it work here. Far Jones wide. The little pop behind, picking up Gavin, the back rower. The quick transfer from Far Jones. Oddie was just dumbfounded, caught standing in the one spot.
Well, it's the loops and the switches are the things that keep your defence standing still, and that's what all they needed was just to keep Oddie still for that moment for the Campese to go wide. Watch the defence of the England side. They're all standing still, not knowing which way it goes. Caught Oddie standing still. Great try.
Oddie was committed. He had to take the ball carrier. Unfortunately, there was a spare man outside.
England must now start to play catch-up rugby. The holes will come from that absolute obsession to score tries.
Good two-handed take by Bayfield, one of his few.
Well, untidy delivery again there. This is Carling. He threw a good dummy. Little from behind, couldn't bring him down. Great run by Carling, so strong. It's 30 metres out. Hill now to Andrew. Ottie's out here. He weaves through two. Can he get it back? Bayfield, back to Richards. England are hungry. Australia come away through Horan.
Great attack, great defence. And down across the other side of the field is Will Carling. Still flat on his face.
Interesting, it was Far Jones's diving tackle that put Carling to ground. It looks like he's hit his head on the hard ground here. But Far Jones also, I believe, has hurt his hamstring in the same tackle.
Poitevin missed the tackle that allowed Carling to get through the middle, and it was Far Jones who brought him to ground. You'll notice it was a great break. There's Carling in struggling through Jason Little, and here, look at that, body off the ground. That's what they've been trying to do at Australian training this week. Their feet above their shoulders when they launch themselves into the tackle.
17.5 minutes remaining. Simon Poitevin getting off his feet at the back.
And now it'll go over the 22. That's it. That's the great drive they're looking for.
Some short steps that make the difference there.
Great play by Kearns. It's only 10 metres out. Willie O still going. Slipped it to Liner, and Poitevin there again. Australia looking to slip it back, left-hand side.
Guscott holding on desperately. Not wanting to get let go of Liner. He had the ball secured. Kearns and Keith Lawrence having a little bit of byplay there.
Phil Kearns had the ball tucked under his arm, and I think he might have been saying, sir, a little bit early.
Great clean out here by the Australian forwards, and Willie off and have a go. He's just looking at these backs and they're saying, not me, I don't want him.
Great to see the number 10, the 5'8", coming to support.
But we've seen that throughout the game, Chris, the backs acting as back rowers. Here they go again. Willie O! They won't stop him! Another variation on that back row move. And try number 4 to Australia.
Brilliantly executed, Gary.
Well,
Take it away.
Isn't it great to see that a scrum under the post, the field goal option wasn't on. In other words, they want the try and they went for it. And it was great move and great scrum platform, and Willie O powering onto it.
Great composure here. Horan, the man left centre field holding onto the ball, was the sucker for the tackle, but he picked up Willie O, who'd come from the far side, the tight blind side. He held onto it and Willie O did the rest, and then he sheared across the cover defence. He shed Richards, he shed Richie Hill, he didn't shed the try. Over.
It's almost been mistake-free rugby on this Australian team.
Ewan McKenzie, tight head on this side.
If I was the England team now, I'd be trying to use Richards as much as possible to get over this advantage line.
He goes Teague, the Gloucester builder.
And they've done exactly that through Teague and Richards.
Now they can go through Guscott and Ottey. Tim Horan. You can't run without legs. Back it comes for Hill. And Ottey again, Guscott. And now Webb. Ottey's inside. Slattery the tackler. Guscott keeps it going through Richards.
Ewan McKenzie, the tackler, down low.
Great passage of play here for England. Now they'll spread it right. Winterbottom and Webb. Can Underwood get there? He can't get the ball. And now it's Campese. It's a chase. Roebuck's there, and so is McKenzie, the prop forward.
He came from nowhere like he did last week.
5 metres into Australian territory. They're pretty tired out there. Guscott has no support.
Great offensive tackling by Australia. They've gone over the advantage line and knocked them down, but England still retain ball.
Oh, this is heady stuff. Great work, Australia, and the muscle men, Gavin and also Eels, wrestling the ball away.
Here it comes again for Australia.
Offside.
Well, the ball wasn't out. The referee's playing advantage. I think it was Jeff Probyn.
I think we left the
Or was it
referee
Winterbottom?
Let the referee the game. He's doing a good job. Important line out to win for Australia.
Bayfield tapped loosely. Again, Australia interfering with the opponent in the line-out. Pass to Teague was forward from Brian Moore.
Silly stuff. But getting on with the game. It's nice to see England expanding the game still. Not going to say die.
Well, 6.5 minutes to go. England wanting to run it from their 22.
What will Australia have on here?
Liner
Great
standing.
scrum again.
It's Michael Liner now to Little. Cut out now to Campese. Back to Liner. He tripped over. This ruck, very important.
England diving in, closing off that ball. Australia still with the put into the scrum.
Could easily have been a penalty there. Winterbottom again over the top. Carling stopping the ball from coming out.
Will they apply that second shove and keep it in this time? They must be pumped up. They desperately want it.
Australia must keep it close, keep it tight, wait for the mistakes.
We've seen some precision rugby from the Australians, but they're going to have to step up another notch now for the All Blacks in 2 weeks.
Well, it's their third game on tour, Gordon. First two, looks like they're in hand.
Beautifully struck. Very
This is
stable.
Gammon. Very strong man.
Will and off in go, he goes in to clean out. England swing around the edge.
Here it comes for Australia. Liner. What's on here? Horan slipped over.
Over the top again, England.
England killing the ball in the tackle.
Very easy to see there. Guscott, the offender. It's not necessary. And here with Mr. Lawrence, he just polices this type of play, and it's what they're trying to do. This ball needs to be played. He is the tackler. He can't play out the ball until he gets back onto his feet. He must leave the ball alone on the ground. Will Carling, no answer. Asking his players to come back, get in around.
And Liner from point-blank range. The crowd exclaims boring. But it won't be boring for the Australians when they see the final scoreboard.
That was the right option there. The kick and goal must be taken. Don't get arrogance. This has been a very disciplined performance by Australia, and it's not time to exit the plot yet.
What I'm impressed about is the consistency. We've seen both the provincial sides, Queensland and New South Wales, showing consistency. It's now in the goal jumper. Tremendous.
David Campese. And what a kick that is from Campese.
Can this man do any wrong? Listen to the crowd.
Well, he's one of the most exciting players ever to grace an Australian jumper. He showed today, too, he's one of the most skillful.
Saw the barging at the front of the line-out and jumping off the shoulders.
Absolutely desperate, England, to get any ball possible to try and keep themselves in the game.
Australia thinking about a tap. Michael Liner is the captain, and he's going to accede to the crowd here. It's the good old-fashioned up and under, and here they come, Horan through there. Richards couldn't pick it up. It's coming back for Australia. Slattery went himself. I don't think the people outside would have been too happy, but here they go.
And let's look for the number.
Willie O, is it? Will he often have a go? Great work that time. He followed the leader, Slattery. They kept the drive on, and he exploded out of the pack like a juggernaut. And Peter Winterbottom, a very emotional player, and it is an emotional time, one of the lower emotional times for them. They tried to do, Winterbottom tried to do the professional defence. We thought it had all gone wrong here. But Slattery slipped the ball, and watch Willie O. He picks up, he doesn't want to skirt the ruck, he comes through and then explodes out over the tackle of Carling.
No wonder they call him the Tongan Torpedo.
Just a powerful performance by a very disciplined Australian forward pack.
Well, Willie O likes this ground. He played for the New South Wales Presidents 15 last year and scored 5 tries against WA. And his first big rep game was for the Sydney team under lights against France. And that was another mighty victory for the Sydney side. Australia to hit 40 for the first time ever against England.
What a magnificent display this is. The Northern Hemisphere will be shaking at these last 2 scores against the traditional top sides from Britain.
Look, it was a very special win against England. You know, we played a lot of back row moves that worked to a T. Timmy Gavin was fantastic. Willie O sort of excelled. It was one of those very, very convincing days where everything worked. I mean, I know that England weren't on top of their game. It was their summer. They weren't as fit as they could be. But no excuses. I mean, that was a very fine Wallaby performance.
For them, obvious disappointment. They thought they were close and were going to knock us off. And for us, obvious elation because we'd belted them. And who was to know that in 6 months' time we're going to play them in the World Cup final.